I'll leave the specific question about the foul to my colleague, Commissioner Engelbert. I mean, I other than as a fan, obviously, it's nothing new in basketball that there's sort of welcome to the league moments, especially for heralded rookies. But of course, I want to see Caitlin treated fairly.
It couldn't come at a worse time than Adam Silver's, as the WNBA's Golden Goose confirmed she will miss the AllStar game because of yet another injury. Clark's absence from the league's most important weekend has NBA leadership extremely anxious, as CBA discussions are coming to a standstill and lockout threats are imminent. From the top, the warnings are coming. Are Adam Silver's worries about the WNBA's ability to safeguard its most valuable asset at this crucial juncture justified? Allow me to explain what transpired and why the WNBA will suffer a severe setback. Caitlin Clark, who aggravated a right groin injury Tuesday, said Thursday afternoon that she will not play in either Friday's three-point competition or Saturday's All-Star game. The kicker, though, is this. This weekend isn't like the rest. The WNBA may or may not have a 2026 season, depending on the outcome of the CBA discussions that are currently underway.
We do start our show, though, with unfortunate news out of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark announced today that she will miss both the three-point contest and the WNBA All-Star game this upcoming weekend in Indiana after re-aggravating a groin injury in that final minute of Tuesday's win over the Connecticut Sun. Clark had missed 4 games and the Commissioner's Cup final with that groin injury earlier this month, and now will be out for this weekend's festivities, which really stinks for fans, but you know that if there was any way that she could be out.
Adam Silver has previously said, "Of course, I want to see Caitlin treated fairly and appropriately in the league." Seeing the biggest star in the WNBA miss their major event because of poor injury treatment must be a major cause for concern. When a partner league commissioner publicly voiced concerns regarding player treatment, that wasn't just good advice. It's an alert shot.
In terms of the comments, in terms of the way the commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, who I've known and I like, the way she has trouble talking about Caitlin Clark, or if she's asked about Caitlin, then she will say, well, Caitlin and Angel. Well, she wasn't asked about Angel. She was asked about Caitlin. This incredible inability to deal with the facts and to state the obvious. It is astounding to me how Kathy Engelbert doesn't come out after the Marina Mabry hit and say, that's unacceptable, the refs got it wrong. Okay, should have been kicked out then, you weren't, but now.
It's time to hold the WNBA accountable for this catastrophe, as Clark's injury news was made at a very cruel time. In her capacity as commissioner, Kathy Engelbert has completely failed to safeguard the league's most precious resource. Christine Brennan, a sports columnist, has publicly criticized Engelbert for her difficulty discussing Caitlin Clark, or when asked about Caitlin, she answers Caitlin and Angel. She was questioned about Caitlin, not how Angel was.
There she would be. Shortly before the show, Clark released this statement through the Fever's social media account saying that she's so excited for Indiana to host WNBA All-Star this weekend, and that she says she knows that this is going to be the best All-Star yet. But she does go on to say how incredibly sad and, quote, disappointed she will be to not be able to participate, adding, quote, I have to rest my body. I'll still be at Gainbridge Fieldhouse for all of the action. I'm looking forward to helping Sandy coach our team.
This commissioner is in charge of promoting the biggest star in the league. Furthermore, she is unable to bring up Clark's name without directing attention to other players. It isn't leadership. At its worst, there is organizational incompetence. The statistics reveal the harsh reality of what occurs when Clark is not in the starting lineup. Since her injury, the average number of people watching WNBA games on national TV has decreased by 55%, from 1,810,000 before her injury to just 847,000 since her injury. That is a 53% decrease, which translates into lost revenue of millions of dollars. Meanwhile, Angliard is sitting there feigning indifference. The officiating disaster that preceded this moment is worth discussing. Per Dr. Lucas C. Hafer, a Chinese expert, 141 players have been injured since the first day of play. Only 179 players are currently competing in the league, and each team only played 44 games. Angelberg need to be calling for modifications right away because the math is so utterly ridiculous. Instead, in handling this issue, she's displaying all the solidity of a silk dress.
The game is fast now. Things are happening quickly. Everybody's getting better, except the officials. So we got to find a way to remedy it. I mean, you've heard every coach talk about it, so I don't know what the answer is.
WNBA legend Rebecca Lobo criticized officials during a game, saying, "There's a grab. There's a hold. There's another grab. I mean, all of those are fouls. Every single one of them. And then here, that's a foul. That's foul." This was in response to Clark being repeatedly fouled without a call. The officiating has been very poor. It's a systemic failing when game luminaries publicly criticize referees on live television. It goes beyond poor officiating. Several times, Clark's own coach has had to point out the officiating catastrophe. Stephanie White, coach of the Indiana Fever, blasted WNBA referees, saying, "I thought she got fouled. I think it's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. The disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable." Coaches using terms like egregious and disrespect are not complaining about competition. Rather, they're pointing out organizational shortcomings.
The ball handler, there's a grab, there's a hold, there's another grab. I mean, all of those are fouls. Every single one of them. And here, that's a foul, and finally they call.
When Clark was singled out repeatedly during the Connecticut Sun game, it was the most scathing indictment of the officiating. In a multi-minute tirade, White faulted Tuesday's referees for losing control of the game and attacked the league and officials in general for not improving. He stated, "Everybody's getting better except the officials."
Who is played 9 years in Indiana and now on the staff. And that's a live shot now of Caitlin.
She went on, "We say the same thing year after year at our league meetings in the fall and spring, and nothing has changed," she said.
That you guys as an organization are doing, I mean, you're speaking out at this point, but anything more that you are doing or you hope to do to engage in the league and addressing these issues with the officiating that you've been very vocal with?
No, I mean, I think every year when we have our league meetings in the fall and in the spring, we say the same thing over and over and over. And nothing has changed.
Under Angelbert's leadership, the officials have gotten worse while the league has gotten more popular and important. The specific incidents that led to Clark's current injury are classic examples of officiating failure. Marina Mabra shoved Clark to the ground after a dead ball, initially receiving only a technical foul before the WNBA was forced to upgrade it to a flagrant 2 after public backlash. The officials couldn't even get the call right in real time and only changed it after being embarrassed publicly. Even Clark's brother Colin blamed the officials on social media, tweeting, "Make no mistake, this is on the reffing after seeing his sister get injured due to poor game management." Angelbert's reaction to these officiating concerns has been utterly pitiful. When asked about officiating complaints, Angelbert stated, "It's interesting when you sit in the chair I sit in that no winning team ever complains about officiating." When family members publicly criticize the league's officiating, it's not just frustration. It's a family witnessing their loved one suffer because officials refuse to do their jobs. Not a single losing team ever complains about the officiating. It isn't leadership. That is a sign of contemptuous haughtiness from someone who obviously doesn't comprehend the issue. The business implications of Angelberg's failures are staggering. In 2024, the WNBA saw 23 games hit 7 figures in viewership, and Clark was involved in all but 3 of those games. On the list of most watched WNBA games this season, you have to go down to number 15 to find the first game, without the Fever. Clark is literally carrying the entire league's viewership, and Angelbert can't even protect her from getting injured. The revenue impact is equally massive. ESPN experienced a 170% increase in WNBA TV ratings, with viewership increasing from 454,000 to over 1.2 million average viewers in 2024. ION achieved 133% TV ratings increase from 2023. This is all because of Clark and Angelbert's inability to protect her is jeopardizing hundreds of millions of dollars in future revenue. The pattern of missed calls and dangerous play has been going on all season. Tuesday's game between the Fever and Sun finished with 5 technicals, 3 players ejected, 2 flagrant fouls, and 1 huge mess. Yet, officials failed to control the game from the beginning. This wasn't one bad sequence. This was officials completely losing control because they've been allowed to operate without standards. The betting market tells the real story about Clark's impact. Sports betting on Indiana Fever games suffered a near 50% drop within a week of Clark being injured, with roughly 50% of betting activity dropping off compared to games Clark played. When betting markets immediately react to one player's absence, that shows just how much revenue the league loses when Clark isn't playing. Silver's concerns about the WNBA's handling of Clark go beyond just player safety. Silver has acknowledged that the attention around Clark is very healthy for women's basketball, but has also expressed concerns about how she's being treated. When the NBA commissioner is publicly expressing concerns about WNBA player treatment, that's diplomatic language for fix this mess before we have to intervene. The systemic officiating problems extend far beyond just Clark. Kelsey Plum lost it in a profane rant after being continually roughed up saying, "I get fouled like that on every possession. They just come out and swing in a number of the shots without making any calls." This is happening to multiple star players, not just Clark. Angelbert's failure to address these problems is particularly damning, given the league's growth. Players and coaches say games are called inconsistently with what's called a foul on one end, not necessarily called on the other. And what constitutes a foul in the first quarter isn't the same in the fourth. That's not competitive basketball. That's chaos masquerading as professional sports. The All-Star game timing makes this situation even more catastrophic. Clark's face is featured all around the city of Indianapolis this week. From the airport to the arena to the side of hotels, with the city hosting the 2025 WNBA All-Star game, but she can't play because of injury issues. The city literally branded the entire event around her, and now she's watching from the bench because officials and league leadership failed to protect her. The CBA negotiations add another layer of urgency to this crisis. WNBA players are bracing for a possible work stoppage if progress isn't made soon on a new CBA, with the current agreement expiring October 31st, 2025. So, you've got labor tensions at an all-time high, and your biggest star is missing the All-Star game due to injury mismanagement. The historical context makes this even worse. Clark did not miss a game in college or during her rookie year, but has been forced to sit for multiple stints so far this season, with a left quad injury holding her out for 5 games starting in May and a left groin injury costing her 5 games before her return in July. This is someone who is basically an Iron Woman for years, and suddenly, she can't stay healthy under WNBA management. The financial reality should terrify everyone involved in the WNBA. Clark's return game drew 2 million viewers with a peak of 2.8 million, up 76% over last season's average audience for WNBA games on ABC. When one player's presence can drive that kind of viewership spike, her absence represents catastrophic financial losses. Angelbert's promotion failures are equally damaging. Christine Brennan pointed out that she likes Kathy Angelberg, but the league office has to do better in promoting their most popular entity to further grow the fan base. When veteran sports journalists are publicly calling out the commissioner for failing to promote the league's biggest star, that's organizational malpractice. The officiating crisis has reached a point where fans have started online petitions demanding accountability, writing, "Since Caitlin Clark's arrival to the league, games involving the Indiana Fever have repeatedly been marred by questionable officiating, missed calls, and a lack of appropriate disciplinary action for overly aggressive and dangerous play." It's not just criticism when supporters start petitions to stop you from officiating. It's revolting. Ignoring the injury pattern is getting harder. Because Clark's injuries are moving from quad to groin, and now to another groin, sports analyst Rachel Da noted, "You can't mess around with injuries that are moving around your body because it means that mechanically something isn't tracking right." This suggests that Clark's body is experiencing mechanical issues as a result of the frequent physical abuse she endures due to subpar officiating. There are far-reaching consequences for women's sports. This season has seen Clark play in the 10 biggest WNBA attendances since 2002. When one athlete is accountable for every single rating record in more than 20 years, losing her due to avoidable injuries is the height of sports malpractice. The commercial stakes give Silver's earlier remarks about wanting Clark treated fairly and appropriately a new sense of urgency. Because of Clark, the league was expected to generate over $1 billion in income this year. A single player's health becomes crucial to the organization's survival when billion-dollar revenue predictions are involved. The disparity between Clark's influence and how the league handled her is extremely pronounced. The conclusion of Clark's career in Iowa drew 12. It was the most-watched women's collegiate basketball game ever with 3 million viewers, while the Final Four game drew 14. It was ESPN's most-viewed basketball game ever, with 2 million people. The WNBA is wasting her talent by having inept leadership, even though she has already demonstrated her ability to draw large crowds. The entire thing that is wrong with Angelbert's leadership is symbolized by the AllStar weekend. As players observe the profits from investment and desire a share, the weekend's activities are a microcosm of the arguments each side makes during CBA negotiations. Given that your primary source of income is frequently hurt as a result of subpar officiating, how can you negotiate revenue sharing? Concerning are the global ramifications as well. When the biggest talent in your home league is unable to stay fit, international possibilities become more appealing. The league's future growth depends solely on Clark's availability and health, and Angelbert's mistakes are endangering that. This whole thing was entirely avoidable, which is its most damning feature. An emphasis on protecting great players, improved officiating, and more robust commissioner's office leadership could have completely prevented this disaster. Instead, we have a league with officials who are paid by the game, do not have a salary, and frequently share responsibilities with NCAA basketball, resulting in a dual-role structure that poses difficulties. Due to a systemic issue, authorities are currently neither adequately prepared nor motivated to safeguard the league's most important resources. Because officials are unable or unwilling to do their duties effectively, the league's top player is unable to attend the All-Star game in her home state. Silver's worries go beyond a partner league's consensual council. They are a warning that the NBA is keeping an eye on the WNBA's management of its most valuable asset and is not impressed. The failure of your commissioner and officials at this fundamental level is unacceptable when you have billion-dollar media deals and expansion ambitions at stake. The WNBA as a whole is now at peril due to Angelbert's mistakes. Officials cannot keep Clark safe. Even without her, viewership plummets. Currently, she is missing their most important weekend. Silver issues warnings that are demands rather than recommendations. Either protect your stars, fix the officiating, or watch as everything disintegrates. Get more truth by listening, like, and subscribing to the WNBA.